Hey, geeks, welcome to the Movie Geek Podcast. My name is Matt.
And I'm Dan.
Hey, Dan. Hey, everybody. I was almost said welcome to another episode of Movie Geek Podcast, but I guess I realized that aside from that one off Barbenheimer Patreon exclusive we did, this is kind of the first episode, isn't it?
It's definitely been a while, Matt. That's for sure.
It's been a while. And we were discussing, how to, really, if you're watching this or listening to it, then you kind of already know by now who we are and what we're doing here. If you don't, welcome. We encourage you to check out our other stuff. It's all on the same feed, the same channel. But it's in the title. We're some movie geeks, and this is a podcast. It's the Movie Geek Podcast. um, and we were discussing ideas of like topics, to come back on, because we've been away for a while, and I came up with I stole an idea for I thought something that would be fun for us to do and be a good like warm up, welcome back or first starter episode for the Movie Geek Podcast. And that is we're going to do some like fantasy football stuff. And I know what you're saying, but this isn't a football podcast, it's a movie podcast. Well, you're absolutely right. We're doing some fantasy football horror movie characters type of thing where we're going to go back and forth, Dan and I, and draft some horror movie characters, and just kind of like create our own imaginary movie out of these characters that we're picking.
And I think what's going to be interesting is based on the characters we pick. I think we're doing it kind of backwards. We're picking our characters before we're making the movie. So
Yeah.
it's going to be kind of interesting to see where we end up.
Right.
And Matt gave me the guidelines, the rubric for this, and honestly, there were no guidelines or rubric other than the fact that they're from horror movies. So good guys, bad guys, minor characters, and I think the only stipulation we've agreed to is that we would not be repeating the same character. Like if he picks it before I pick it, it's
Yeah.
out. I can't use
It's
it, and vice versa.
just like a real draft. If I get insert any sports name here, then he's no longer on the table, and I have that person. If same vice versa, if you pick, then I cannot pick same said person. I think we've decided that we're going to go to 8. We get 8 draft picks back and forth. Um, I know I've got some names written down and some backup names. I think you do as well. So we're just gonna jump right in. Again, this is just for fun, but we do want to know once all said and done. We're gonna put this up on our Instagram page, and we're gonna, obviously, if you're watching, leave comments. Let us know who you think has the better team, and really, the winner is just gonna be me and Dan. So I guess. Bragging rights, I guess, is all we win. But or maybe one of us will treat the other one to dinner or a movie or something sometime. But I think we're just going to jump in. Are you ready, sir?
I'm good, man.
So with Halloween right around the corner, and spooky season is upon us. It's one of my favorite times of the year. I'm going to throw it to you. That's why I guess I should finish that sentence. That's why we're doing horror movie characters. I'm going to throw it to you, Dan. Who is your first round draft pick?
I pick Matt from his birthday video that's posted on his YouTube. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna start off with a classic. I don't want to get too far into Matt because I have a feeling maybe I know where Matt's thoughts are gonna go. Maybe this is one of his. I'm not sure, but I mean, tried and true classic. I'm going with Mr. Jack Torrance on my list.
Jack Torrance was on my list. Okay, so you're drafting Jack Torrance from The Shining.
I guess we should specify that, huh? Could go into depth.
Yeah.
Going to death.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just making notes myself so I don't overpick who you have already picked. Uh, you know, I've kind of thought, I got 8 picks. I wanted to figure out how I was going to actually do it. How many killers versus heroes I was going to have, that kind of thing. I'm going to start with a hero, and because you didn't pick this person right off the bat, I got it. I got to. Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis is my first round draft pick.
Yeah, when I was sitting at the table and we were talking about like where Matt was going to go with his picks, I knew he was going to dive into the Halloween background. My wife also knew that as well. I'm going to go with one I'm pretty sure Matt does not have on his list. And well, I like how you're going. You went, I said a bad person, you said a good person. I'm gonna go good person this time.
Okay.
I'm gonna completely throw a wrench in this. And I gotta get him before you get him, but I'm gonna take the grown Danny Torrance from Doctor Sleep. I think
Solid
that
pick.
that was a a solid pick for me. And also what's interesting about him
You
is
got
with
father
his
son.
shine. Was that?
You got a father son duo there in your movie.
Yeah, I think that, and also it's got like a little bit of that supernatural element in it for him too, which was something I don't know if you went through this too. Like for my characters, I was thinking like I don't want to pick somebody that's like too OP versus somebody that's not too OP. Like that's very hard. But
What does
anyways,
OP
kicking it back,
mean? OP?
overpowered.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm old. You have to describe these things to me.
Yeah, we both
Okay.
got the same hairstyle though, according to your and Tracy was in earlier talking to us.
Oh, geez. So I'm gonna go. I got to grab the duo. I'm gonna go Michael Myers for my first serial killer, my second round pick.
See, I'm going father son. You're going brother sister. You know.
Yep.
So it makes sense. So this one, I don't think this one's gonna be on your list. But I'm gonna go with because she's in the news a lot lately. One of Megan Fox's characters. I'm gonna go with Regan from, or I'm sorry, Jennifer. I don't know why I said Regan. Jennifer from Jennifer's Body. I'm gonna put up there.
Oh, okay. I thought you were getting ready to go The Exorcist on me for a minute.
I thought about it. I really, honestly, you know what? Scratch that, Matt. I'm gonna take her off, and I am gonna put Regan from The Exorcist. Let's do Regan.
Wow. Okay.
I was on the border. I was on the borderline anyway, and you just pushed me over the edge.
That's
Lots
another
cookie.
solid pick. Okay, so you've got Jack Torrance, Danny Torrance, and Reagan from The Exorcist. I've got Laurie Strode, Michael Myers. My third pick is going to be, and I haven't decided. I haven't decided if I want more than two like killers in my lineup because I was going to do four, and I was like 4 and 4, But then I don't know. I might only want two, and if I only do two, I don't know who I want the second one to be yet. So I'm gonna go my next semi. Well, not semi. My next hero character, or just character, is going to be Sidney Prescott from Scream.
Okay. Getting the Scream franchise in. I debated with Sydney. I debated with the Scream
I'm
franchise.
honestly surprised you didn't pick Sidney sooner.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be point blank honest. Scream is my legit now favorite horror franchise. It just is what it is, but I'm not going that route, my man. And I was thinking about somebody to balance out Reagan with the Exorcist, and I was like, who could I take from around the universe that would be an interesting matchup, but would be fun to see? And I was thinking because I was doing like one against one. I'm thinking that we're gonna go with Ash Williams,
He was on my
Evil
list.
Dead.
Yes. Okay. So you've got four. My next pick is going to be this is tough. My next pick is going to be Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Okay. All right. That's a good one. And again, we're still sticking with the classics here, so that's pretty good. Um, on your last one, you did somebody from the Scream franchise. I argued with myself quite a bit on who I wanted to bring in, but man, I'm loving this character. Well, specifically the actor for Stu Macher. I bring in one of the original, the OG Scream faces, and my buddy
That's so
Matthew Lillard.
that's so funny because you have Stu Macher, and I'm not even kidding. If I thought it would show up at all, I'd show you my list. My pick is Billy Loomis.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
So we've got both Scream killers, one for each.
So where are we at? 5?
So yeah, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we each got 5. So you have Jack Torrance, Danny Torrance, Reagan from The Exorcist, Ash from Evil Dead, and Stu Macher from Scream. I have Laurie Strode from Halloween, Michael Myers from Halloween, Sidney Prescott from Scream, Nancy from A Nightmare on Elm Street, and Billy Loomis from Scream.
The one I want to go with is I lost my page. We have Grace Lay Domas. Let's see if you know who this is.
Who?
All right, so we talked about this movie a while back. I asked you to watch it. I know you have it on your Vudu, but do you have Ready or Not? Have you watched that movie?
Oh yeah. Is
It's
that her name?
the lead, the female lead in
Okay.
that movie.
I would have never been able to tell you her character name, but okay. That's a solid pick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Um, I'm gonna go. See, I've got a lot of hero. Well, no, I guess I got two killers. I'm gonna go another killer. I'm gonna go the grabber from the Black Phone.
Oh yeah, creepy one.
Yeah.
So that means one of his picks is going to be a kid coming up. Um, it's just my
I
thoughts.
can neither confirm nor deny.
So we're headed number 7 here. I guess I'll go with the bad guy. I want to go. I guess this could be a classic. It's a book my wife is in the middle of reading right now, and then she wants to rewatch the movie. But I'm going to go with Mr. Patrick Bateman from
Oh,
American Psycho.
didn't even think about him. Okay. And you called it. My next pick is Finney Blake from the Black Phone.
There we go. I mean, that movie was phenomenal. If you haven't seen Black Phone, go check it out. If you're a parent, it's definitely going to play with your heartstrings. But overall, it keeps you on the edge of your seat the entire time. So
Yeah.
great movie, great pick. I guess
So
I'm going my
is
last.
this it? This is it.
This is
So
my last one.
hold before you go. Let's just give the listeners and audience one more rundown of who you got. Do you have a list of yours? I'll let you read your picks if you want.
So far, we've got Regan from The Exorcist, Stu Macher from Scream, the original, Patrick Bateman, American Psycho, Danny Torrance, the grown version from Doctor Sleep, Jack Torrance. He's also coming in with Danny, but in the older film, The Shining. We also, just lost my pictures. We got Ash. We got Jack Torrance, father. Ash Williams from Evil Dead. We've got Grace Lade Domas from Ready or Not. And I think that was 7
That
of
should
mine.
be. Yep. So it
And
should
then
be.
the last one that we're going to round out for our good guy team, and I don't think this would be one that would be even on your radar, but I think he's a good addition. Tallahassee from Zombieland.
Gosh, that's a good pick. I went so generic with this list, and you're thinking outside the box with Zombieland and American Psycho. So I've got Laurie Strode and Michael Myers from Halloween, Sidney Prescott from Scream, Billy Loomis from Scream, Nancy from A Nightmare on Elm Street, and then I've got both the Grabber and Finney Blake from the Black Phone. So this is the wild card, right? Do I got Nancy just kind of hanging out by herself. Do I pick a Freddy to give her something to battle here? Because I kind of, if I've done this, I didn't even purposely do this, but I've got someone paired up from all of their movies except for Nancy. I've got Sydney and Billy. I've got Laurie and Michael, the Grabber and Finney. I got no one for Nancy. So, but I don't think Freddy's it. I love Freddy. Freddy Nightmare on Elm Street was the very first horror movie I ever watched. But I don't think Freddy's it. I think I'm going to go wild card, and because it's back in the theaters, I think I'm going to go Jigsaw. I want to
Okay.
play a game.
That'd be an interesting matchup to see how she does against like a psychotic puzzle master serial killer.
Yeah.
I wonder if
So
she'd come out as a minion actually, like was it Amanda? What was her name?
Amanda, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. Wow. Did you have any that you didn't pick or wanted to pick but didn't have enough, or that I picked, or?
So I had a couple just in case. I didn't go too far into it, but one of the bad guys I was looking at, Red Face Demon from
Mm,
Insidious.
I
Um,
literally had what's his name? I wrote it down. Oh, Dalton. Dalton Lambert from Insidious.
there you go, hot
Yeah.
dog. I mean, that would have been a good. We
Yeah.
should put our people against each other.
Right?
Had Red the Hat, which was from Doctor Sleep. She was I mean, she
Mhm.
was a whole nother level. And then the only good person I had on my list I didn't bring up. It was kind of like a minor. There were two minor characters I was really battling with. Randy Meeks from Scream. I thought if he was going to be there, he's just going to get killed off
Right.
regardless. And then also, I couldn't remember his name offhand. I had it written down, but then I deleted it. But Matthew Lillard's character from 13 Ghosts.
Hmm.
Oh, Rafkin.
Rafkin, I
Okay.
think.
Dennis Rafkin.
Yep, I think that's what we said. And then and again, I think that would have just been more so like support. You knew he would die, but would maybe make a sacrifice in the movie. But yeah.
Right.
How
Yeah,
about
I mean,
you?
yeah, that's one thing I definitely wanted to do, but then just I realized very quickly realized that 8 is just not enough. Because you want to get the heavy hitters, the big names, so I think that's what we both kind of aimed for. But I definitely wanted more supporting characters, but some big names that I didn't get to pick that I would have if you had chosen some of my picks. I had Sam Loomis from Halloween. I had Andy Barkley, the Child's Play Chucky, because and then on the opposite side of that, I also had Chucky on my list. Obviously, Freddy Krueger, Pennywise the Clown. I'm surprised no one.
Which version?
Well, really, either I would have chosen the 2017 version. That's the version that I think is ultimately the better version. And then I had Wednesday Adams from the Adams Family.
That
A
would
lot,
honestly be a good matchup for Pennywise. And follow me on this because he feeds off of fear.
yeah.
Ain't none there. He gonna starve.
And then, of course, as mentioned, I had Dalton Lambert from Insidious. I had Ellen Ripley from Alien,
Okay.
and then Dr. Gordon from Saw.
Yeah.
Um, but then, yeah, I mean, it's tough, but I mean that's fun. So one more time rundown. I've got Laurie Strode, Michael Myers, Sidney Prescott, Nancy, Billy Loomis, the Grabber, Finney Blake, and Jigsaw. And you've got Jack Torrance, Danny Torrance, Reagan, Ash, Stumacher, Grace Le. I'm not going to
Play
pronounce that.
Demas. Yeah.
Le Dumas, Patrick Bateman, and Tallahassee from Zombieland. Uh, those are some solid picks. So now, like we mentioned, we will put this up on our Instagram, and of course, if you're watching on YouTube, leave comments. Let us know which one of us has the better team. Which one of us, whose team do we think will make the better movie? But that's our picks. Um, Anything else you want to add, Dan?
I almost want to see if people are gonna rate our picks, maybe they can post their own picks as well. Like if you had your horror team, who would it be? Would it
Yeah,
be more classic? Would we be going like Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, The Mummy, like that kind of route? Because that's one thing we really didn't touch on, and that's another person like Celine from Underworld. I think would have been a good one, but we really didn't go into the supernatural aspect too much. I
right,
know you try to stay away from like Freddy, maybe like Michael Myers, depending on how you interpret Michael Myers. But
right.
it would just be curious because again, I think both of our picks were more worldly, except maybe like Reagan and Ash
Right,
to an
right.
extent. But
Well, um, Yeah, so I mean, let us know, comment, you know, let us know in the Instagram comments and the YouTube comments which team you prefer. And then maybe we'll make another game out of it, like the winner has to do something or something on air. I don't know. I don't eat something spicy or something. I don't know. I've done that before. Um, but we'll figure it out. And let us know that if there's something like, oh, well, we want to see this happen to the loser, then let us know. I think that's it for now. We thank you so much for tuning in. We thank you for sticking around with us. If you've stuck around this long, you can follow us. We're on Facebook and Instagram at the Movie Geek Podcast. And of course, we're on Patreon. We have that one bonus show so far. We will have more there eventually, I promise, which is at Movie Geek Podcast. And of course, if you're watching this, it's brought to you, of course, by my YouTube channel, youtube.com/at Matt Knows Best. And then, we're also on all the audio platforms. So give us a listen. We're on Spotify and Apple and iHeart and Google and wherever you get your podcasts. So give us a rating, whether it be just a 5-star rating or whichever platform you're using. We appreciate it and it helps us grow. With that said, I would like to wish everyone a great week and remind everyone to keep geeking out.